It doesn't change a damn thing about the demand. What it changes is quality of customer. And I think that is the scary point of it all.
Welcome back to Muse on the Mic. I'm Riley.
And I'm Emily. Thanks everyone for joining us on another hot topic here at Muse on the Mic. We're so glad to have you all today. We're going to cause some trouble as usual. Mm-hmm. Riley, what are we talking about today? Let everybody know what we're getting into.
Well, we saw a post on Instagram that kind of inspired this episode, and we're talking about supply, demand, law, stigma, hypocrisy, like all the words. It's all like kind of rolled into one. So I think we should start with this post we saw.
All the words is the thing, right? Yeah. Let me read the post. But before that, everybody like, subscribe, comment down below. I've heard that YouTube is really favoriting comments. So chat it up in the comments. We've been getting some amazing comments, by the way, too. Okay, let me just jump in and read this little post. It's very short. So it says, 4 million women are on OnlyFans. Quote, "Oh my God, society is doomed." Yeah. Then it says, "But no one talks about the 240 million men paying for it. Everyone judges the supply and no one questions the demand." That part. To me, this is the same old song and the same old dance. What do you feel about it, Riley?
I think it's the perfect way to highlight it. And I know you were kind of thinking more in line of laws, which we're going to jump into. But that's the part for me is like, yes, there are plenty of women capitalizing off of sex work and specifically OnlyFans, but they would all be broke if there was no demand. It is the consumers that they are eating it up. And so why does that shame and stigma get focused towards the women doing the job?
That's just it, right? No matter what the law construct is or what side of the aisle you're on or religion or morals or whatever you want to like kind of go at, it's always demonize the workers. They're the dirty whores, blah, 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 blah. And there's very few aspects that focus on the customer, AKA the demand. But what you were saying about money, it always brings me back to the pandemic. Because that's when OnlyFans had its like explosion, its burst of popularity. And I guarantee you there were some anti-sex work people that suddenly were sex working on OnlyFans to get through a global crisis. This is why it's the oldest profession in the world. Like sometimes people don't wrap their brain around that. It's not just in the world now. It's throughout human history. Like women knew very early on, aha, I'm onto something. I have a commodity to sell. And men were just forever, whether it's the 1800s, the 1600s, Egyptian times, during, you know, like you name the era of history. And there was courtesans, there was escorts, there was prostitutes, there was, you could watch any movie, any historical documentary, like you name it, it's everywhere. It's always been there. And through different eras and different kind of like reigns of power, sometimes it was even celebrated. Sometimes they were the only people allowed in the upper courts when they had the ball gowns and the ballroom dances and things like that. There was a time where kings and queens were allowed to have paid mistresses and things like that. And then society shifts and changes and it's back to stone the whores, jail the whores, all back over again. But whether people are approving of it or not, they never look at the man and be like, you're still a pervert. It never happens. And it drives us crazy because, listen, I don't think you're a pervert for buying sex, but I also don't think you're a demon for selling it. Like, we need to find some common sense balance.
That's and I think what he said was interesting about the pandemic because not only is it the oldest profession, it tends to be a very recession-proof profession. Yes. And in the pandemic, it literally kept millions of people afloat. Like it was, even if they entered from a place of desperation, so be it. I'm sure there was many. It literally was keeping the world afloat at a certain point in time.
I mean, we've learned that through our 17 years of owning our massage parlor. We opened during the 2008-2009 recession. We made it
Mhm.
through that recovery, and then the panorama made it through that recovery. And now we're in yet another global crisis that's 2 seconds from being another recession. And so I feel like this one, though, is like a slow-mo recession compared to like a crash.
Mhm.
Like it's just
Yeah.
gradually going like this as prices are going like this and everything's kind of out of balance, right?
Yeah.
But we see the change in demand. We also see the change in customer. Maybe a customer doesn't have a lot of money to spend, is in the parlor less often, but he's still coming in. Those
Mhm.
guys were still coming in with masks when we were out of lockdown. Like, you make it work, right?
Mhm.
Those that are a little more affluent will be in all the time when it's kind of like a dip, because they're going to think, oh, they'll be thrilled to see me because nobody's walking in the door. And when they walk in and told it's a 20-minute wait, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. But it's led to conversations between you and I about like pricing or like new services we can offer to adjust to the changing market.
Yeah.
But the constant is always the penis. The penis
Mhm.
is the picker. The penis is the one that walks in the door. The penis is the spender. If not for the penis, who would we strip for?
It's so true.
It really is. But that
Yeah.
kind of brings my brain always back to law and how
Yeah.
that kind of works and balances out, because there are certain sectors of the argument about sex work. Is it okay or is it not okay? Obviously, some people come from a moral standpoint, some come from a religious standpoint, upbringing, etc. But from a law perspective, there's
Mhm.
legalization, decriminalization, outright illegal, and then this mysterious little beast called the Nordic Model. And the Nordic Model is unfortunately a construct of Canadian law right now, which is where we are located. Although, before I kind of get into that little description, because we're a licensed facility and have been since long before these laws changed, we kind of, I don't want to say we're quite grandfathered, but we kind of have like a bubble of protection, just like strip clubs still operate in Canada and all those things. But the Nordic model is that if you penalize the customer, you will reduce the demand, and therefore not as many women will be in the industry. And from not just our experience, but every researcher and every country, which many Nordic countries have adapted, is that it doesn't change a damn thing about the demand. What it changes is quality of customer. And I think that is the scary point of it all. And listen, guys, you're not going to get charged with anything by coming to a place like Muse or going to your local strip bar and having a beer with your friends and taking some dances. But the premise is, I think it equates a lot better to street level sex work, in the sense that the assumption of naysayers is that it's all these creepy people creeping around the streets and all these dirty whores on the corners. And if we stop the creepers, there'll be no whores on corners. It's like, no, actually, you're gonna put away or steer away, deter away the non-creepy guys, the good guys, and those with nothing to lose and everything to gain from this scenario is going to be out prowling the streets, being the creepy guy on the creepy corner. Like, it's actually so ass backwards. It's almost funny if it wasn't so damn dangerous, and for the fact that it didn't result in actual loss of life and violence against sex workers. It also puts a sex worker in a position of less comfort or ability to call law enforcement when we need them. It makes the client assume you're not going to call cops on me if I don't pay you or assault you or stealth and take off the condom or some sort of abuse. And you're not going to do that because you're not going to want to be the one girl who rats people out, because you'll have no business after that. And there's an element to that that's true, right? You don't want to be the girl who outs the people. You also don't suddenly need cops all up in your business watching where your whereabouts so they can use you as like a sting operation to catch the dudes, and so on and so forth. It unravels the minute you think with any sort of logic. And fight as we tried in 2014, Canada was like, let's give it a whirl. And there's plenty of cases out there that are trying to fight it. There was a recent case, I think I sent you this post. I want to say it was Austria, but maybe I've got the country wrong. In the past week, they decided that not paying a sex worker is sexual assault and is rape. And it is, first of all, you had an agreement. It takes away the agreed upon consent. When you take that away and you decide not to pay someone, it's also theft. But that's kind of minor compared to the physicalness of it all. But in a place that has decriminalized sex work, which is our pinnacle of what we want, legalization is great and all, but then the man is all up in your business. The government controls where and when and how and what price and all those kind of things. Obviously, criminalization is completely insane and dangerous, yet many countries have that. When it's decriminalized like that, you can therefore, as a sex worker who's been assaulted or raped by a customer, go through the active channels of law enforcement to gain accountability and justice for all. It's like, isn't this what everything from America and so on down the ladder kind of preaches every day?
Right.
And yet, once it comes to sex work, suddenly we're like, oh, no, but not the horse. Right. And those guys that are going click, click, click on the internet are just going, wow, everybody forgot about me. Do. And it's insane. It's actually insane because nothing has improved from a safety level in Canada since we took that on. If anything, it took adjustment to reaffirm or reestablish new channels and new methods of safety. But every working girl still goes to work. Like, rent is still due on the 1st, people. Like, what are we actually talking about? So I kind of giggle when I hear this. The caption under this post on Instagram was, nobody's talking about this. And I was like, what do you mean nobody's talking about this? There's entire countries that have not just fought against this, but their entire law construct is based around this premise. So yeah, lots of people have talked about it and then some, especially in our world. We argue about it all the time.
Good evening. Welcome back to Just the Tip with Riley. Thank you for joining me on this sexy Sunday evening. Tonight we're jumping into the topic of shibari. Many of you maybe have never even heard this term before, so let me take you on a little historical journey. Shibari is the ancient Japanese art of rope bondage. It's pure erotic alchemy. This isn't just about tying someone up. It's a slow, deliberate seduction where the rope becomes an extension of your hands, your breath, and your desire. Every wrap, every knot and tug of tension turns vulnerability into something breathtakingly sensual. Shibari is meditative, it's power and surrender, but it's also filthy hot. Shibari can be traced back to Japan in 1603, where samurais and police officers would use specialized techniques to restrain prisoners and war criminals. Each knot or each pattern would be based on gender, social status, or severity of their crimes. Over time, these functional ties crossed over into erotic art. Mankind always has a way of doing something like that. And then shibari exploded in Japan through the 50s and 60s. Fast forward to today, and shibari is practiced worldwide, everything from floor bondage to advanced suspensions. Even though this is about bondage, there's always a strong emphasis on the beauty and the emotional connection. So let's jump into a few tips. If you're a beginner and you're thinking about going on this journey, let's go on this ride together. Make the first tie feel like foreplay, not a puzzle. Don't rush here. You really want to get this right. Let the rope slowly slide across bare skin, tracing collarbones, breasts, and even wrapping around thighs.
If this tip isn't enough, subscribe to Patreon for the whole thing.
Well, and I think the word you used often is demonized, and the women are always demonized. And I think the men, the kind of tone of it is very manosphere. And our next video that we're going to show is like really highlighting kind of that kind of manosphere type vibe. And I think it really outlines what we're talking about really well.
It really does. And, you know, we did a little series on the manosphere when Adolescence came out on Netflix. Yeah. And stay tuned soon for a documentary review that we're going to be doing as well. But it's also the connect the dots between how does this manosphere stem into sex work, and how will it affect us down the road when these young men are the customers? And this is just a perfect example of the bigotry and all the adjectives fit in this one. So let's watch.
Sex work is not real work. What is real work? Something where you exchange a skill or service.
That's what sex work is.
Yes, but you're selling your body and dignity.
There's an exchange of time and skill, so it's work, it's labor.
Hardly any skill.
Honestly, there's a lot of psychological skills that go into it.
Only the weakest, low-value men fall for these.
Who are these men?
The men who are actually buying these females' products, i.e. bodies.
So if no one bought, they would be out of work, these females.
Absolutely.
So the only reason the market exists is because of men.
I think that video is so perfect to really, like, I know it's a skit, but it really highlights what people are thinking and what kind of this manosphere demographic think about. And they really devalue the fact that sex work is work. And that just blood boiling.
It really is. Some of those adjectives thrown around, I was like, stop your nonsense, first of all, because it's not realistic. I'm not saying that there's never loss of dignity, but you could have that in any and every job, right? You could be president, you could be a CEO, you could be the most famous actress in the world, and there will be many a TMZ thing that comes out about you where, like, there goes my dignity. Like, caught at a P. Diddy party, dignity out the window. Like, come on, there's a lot of things. You could feel that way working at McDonald's. Like, if you're like, this is below me, blah, 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 my dignity. Like, that's just a strange... From my immediate reaction is that's like a stem of a religious judgment, because otherwise, who cares about your dignity? That's between you and you, or I guess between you and your God or whatever you talk to and believe in. But to assume that every woman, you're telling me that Pamela Anderson has no dignity? You're telling me that, like, some of the most famous women in the world, the Moulin Rouge, was filled with people with no dignity? Like, the most dignified people were the customers. And these women were, you know, elevated and elated to be there. Like, it was a prime working place. Think of, like, Playboy in the 70s and, like, the glam behind all of it. And it's not that sex work is always glamorous, but to just assume that there's no dignity... I'm sorry, but if I was a streetwalker, old school 80s prostitute thumbing it on the corner, if I go home with enough money to feed my kids, my dignity's on fucking max at that point, because another successful day has been had. Their little bellies are full, and I would look at them all tucked into bed and be like, I love you. That's it. That's all the thought process takes. We don't go home at the end of the day and go, oh my God, I can't believe I did this, and I can't believe I did that with Bob, and oh my God, I don't deserve to live anymore because I licked some testicles. Like, it just doesn't make any logical sense. But I do love the highlight of the skill that it takes to actually be a sex worker, because dude with the hoodie on wouldn't make it a day on a street corner, let alone even a fancy strip club with all the protections. He wouldn't last a minute. I'd put money on it.
I agree with the skills part, and they just, like, touch the surface. There is a plethora of skills that are required to be successful in sex work or any job. I feel like they just want to hate on the ladies. I mean, how many professions do you use your body for work? Like you were telling me earlier, farming, labor, construction, all of those things. It's the fact that it's our pleasure spots or like an erogenous zone that just sits differently with them, whereas it's actually just like any other job.
I'm convinced it stems from envy, because I think there's a lot of men that think it's not fair. And I don't understand where that comes in, because it takes 2 seconds of being in the world. You could be a 6-month-old baby and you learn pretty quickly, life ain't fair, kid. Shit's gonna happen, including in your diaper, and you're sitting in it right now. So, like, talk to me about fair. Nothing in life is fair. That's not the point. It's about accomplishment. It's about sharing. It's about empathy. It's about growing your soul and your spirit and all those things. And I'm telling you, the skill set of a sex worker is beyond that of a therapist. It's beyond that of a psychological expert. It's beyond that of a yoga instructor. It's beyond that of even just being a pleasure center, if you really want to dehumanize her that much. She's not a blow up doll. She's not just a collection of holes. She has the opportunity every day to be enchanting and to be diverse and to be bendy and flexible and goddess-like and orgasmic and conversationalist and there are not really opportunities like that for men that sit them in the same category, because where the unjustness, I think, comes from is men are so sexually driven. They're so like inspired and motivated by their penis that it's like, why do I not get paid for that energy or for that instinct that I have? The assumption being that women don't have pleasure and sex drives. Now, this is old school kind of thinking, right? As we modernize, especially in the past 2 years, learning about women's bodies and learning about the pleasure capabilities, but also the responsibility on men's DNA for the ailments we get when we canoodle together. Like, it really changes the game, being like, well, why don't I get that? Why do I have to be a roofer? Well, I could be a roofer too, buddy. You could be an escort if you want to be a man escort. Magic Mike exists. Like, let's not deny the existence of male sex work. The trends nowadays are that most of that involves gay sex work, but it hasn't always been that way either. Take a little walk through, 10 years ago in Japan. You'd be a hot little commodity if you're a hot little number. Ladies there have a lot of money and they love a boy toy. So you can find your market, but don't bitch that it doesn't exist. Don't bitch that it's a problem and you're somehow unjustified, because we could talk about fairness if men really want to get in that conversation. Let's talk about wage gaps. Let's talk about, what we're allowed to do as a human right. Let's talk about women's health care and abortion and the right to vote and all the things. Life ain't fair. Literally, life ain't fair. It hasn't been for women. It's just an ongoing thing.
Wage is important too, because it's not just that women are making money, it's how much money. And listen, there are sex workers that make middle of the road, they just support their family, and I'm not shitting on that in any way, but it's the potential of how much money these women can make. And I think that's where the kind of the angst comes from these men of, she's rich, she has all of this, but listen, it's supply and demand. Take you out of the equation and they wouldn't be making the money.
Absolutely. And I think the ease of use of OnlyFans is why it's such a current hot button, because think of that argument. How many videos and articles, like it's on social media all the time nowadays, at least in our algorithms, with how they're kind of aligned, right? And everybody bitches about OnlyFans, but nobody's like super mad at like Nevada. And they're like, the bunny ranch is where the devil lives. Like, nobody goes on and on about that. No one screams at the strippers nowadays. Nobody's mad at the bachelor party on the party bus with the 2 party girls. Like, nobody's mad at the yacht parties with the sugar daddies and the blah, blah, blah. Like, it goes on and on and on in so many aspects. None of these people talk about massage parlors. They're not like, oh, those tuggers, they're the biggest downfall of society. Like, it's literally so hyper-focused on OnlyFans. Its popularity since the pandemic, but it's also assumed ease of use, because for them, it's click, click, click. Buy, watch, jack off. Do it again. Buy, watch, jack off. Like, on repeat. Being a content creator, which is what all of these lovely ladies are, is so much behind the scenes work. You only see about 10% of that once you're the purchaser and purchase the photo or the video or the live or the whatever you're buying. It takes hours of shooting. It takes full videography, lighting and cameras, and maybe even some helpers. Like, you need a director. Like, the more money you make, the higher your production scale goes up too. It's like us versus Mr. Beast. Listen, we got a great setup now. Watch episode 1. It's a different scenario, right?
We're growing.
Invest in your craft. It takes us a lot easier to put together an episode, and yet we have more elements to our episodes now. We have intros. We have a preview to our Sunday night thing. We're monetized now. We have an affiliate sponsor. Shout out Honey Playbox.
Ooh.
Like, we've got a lot more to it. We picked those little black and white intros and the preview you got of our Spicy Wednesday episodes. That's just like a little snippet on YouTube. Like, there's a lot of editing and a lot of decision making that goes behind it. That's not different if you're California's best squirter. Like, it's still the same setup. You need to rent the space. You need to rent the hotel or buy a house with an extra room in it now because mommy needs a studio. Like, you just, there's so much to it. The marketing, the advertising, paying people that manage your accounts, or if you decide to work for an agency that handles OnlyFans, you're giving away percentages. And most OnlyFans girls are not making $6 million a month. There's a select tiny percentage. It is so reflective of actual society because we all bitch about the 1%, right? And the millionaire and billionaires out there. It's no different on OnlyFans. There's like 1 to 2% that make millions a month, and everybody else pays rent.
Yeah.
It's grocery money. It's the kids' camp for the summer. Like, every June I sell feet pics. Like, that's just the way it goes. But thank God we have those options, because think of what all those people would have to do. You'd need more social support systems. You'd have more people on social assistance and welfare programs. You'd have way more homeless people. You'd have people unable to afford medicine and treatments or caregiving for the boomers that are out. Like, it would spiral society out of control if anyone decided all of a sudden shut it all down. It would actually make such a freaking mess. And I love that by the end of that video, the last 10 seconds was like, oh. None.
It's perfect.
So good. So, like, mwah. I love a full circle moment where bro had nothing left to fight about, because his argument was only like 2 inches deep, right? Like, you're just not going to win with that attitude, sir. And bless his heart, if 10 years from now he ends up in the same situation as most people, in a shitty marriage where they're not talking to you, you sleep on the couch or in some room in the basement, and next thing you know, you're a regular at the local strip bar anyway. You should have just gone there in the first place, bro. Like, but again, it's fine when it's a bachelor party, or it's fine when it's certain scenarios, but as soon as it becomes something you lean on to get by, now we're also demonizing those customers. That's what I don't like about the Nordic Model's angle either, is they're not perverts. They're human beings that have actual physical needs. And the way that we help people is beyond what an average therapist or family member or a bestie or a girlfriend or a side chick or whatever can do, because we're kind of an all-in-one bundle. We're like a little happy meal of fun. You get the drink and the fries and the shake to go with it. And like, your bases are covered. You go home and you feel like a man again. Like, it's a really big deal. And I think if you love men and you support men and you want men to be healthier and happier, you automatically have to be pro sex work, because it's such a vital piece for so many millions of men all over the world. Not just the 240 million that are on OnlyFans. Yeah. Wait till they hear the stats of like in-person sex work. That little guy's hood would blow up.
I'm sure.
I'm sure. Well, that's our argument. As always, we love to like lay the case down and be like, I dare you to argue with us. If you have some thoughts on this, because everybody does, pop down in those comments for sure, and let's have the conversation. Let's get into it. It might stem another episode with a bit of a follow-up, and ask questions if you're curious, because Riley and I have been at this for a long time, and we've learned a lot of stuff about this, and just not just how it breaks down in a legal form or something, but what that means for real people's lives. We've got 12 stories to go with every one of these arguments to be like, well, remember so-and-so? That saved her life. Or remember that guy? He didn't commit suicide because he found MUSE. Like, there's real things and real people involved. And bottom line is, sex work is work.
It is.
We need this on a big poster. Ooh, we need a new mug that says sex work is work.
Ooh, good idea.
That would be a great one, eh? Anyways, thank you for watching this wonderful episode. Make sure you tune in on Patreon. Get over there and subscribe. So we got something spicy coming up for you on Wednesday. And again on Sunday nights, we got a little twofer coming up too, where we're going to double team you guys. It's going to be great.
I can't wait for that one.
So we'll see you over on Patreon later in the week, and we'll see you next Monday here on YouTube. Bye, guys.